All done as quickly as possible. If you have a question, you've got to ask. Okay. Last Tuesday, you had a bell ringer about a graph. Have you been going over bell ringers this semester?
I did not. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Good. That gives me something to do. Okay, so they asked a bell ringer question about a graph. It says there's a line that goes through 3x plus 4. We're going to pretend that this is the line. It is not perfect, but it's good enough. And then they said, what would happen, which of the following describes the transformation of the line parallel with a y-intercept of -3? So they move it down to here.
Oh, is that one on the 228?
It is. I'm gonna bell ringer it up for a few minutes. Okay, the equation of this line, since they're parallel, what's the slope?
Wow.
Slope's the same, so it's still 3x, but since I'm crossing through -3, it's going to be 3x minus 3. Okay, so I'll give you that. When I went from this brown line to this orange line, is that a reflection, a translation, or a rotation? You know what those words mean?
Translation.
How many units? How many did I move down? 7, because it was 4 from there to the origin and 3 more. So it's a translation down 7 units. The answer is D. Okay, Caitlin, I know you're factor queen. Will you go ahead and tell me what the factors were on 1? I know she's right because 3 minus 1 adds to 2. -1 times 3 is -3. I know she's right. Again, I would set them equal to 0 and then set each factor equal to 0. So you get x minus 1 equals 0, so x equals positive 1. X plus 3 equals 0, so x equals -3. And the only reason we keep going over these is because I'm afraid Will's going to get a multiple choice standardized test question, and it's going to have answer choices like 1, -3, and -1, 3. And he's going to really want to choose B. But like we're showing, it actually ends up being the opposite side, so he ought to choose A. And I just don't want him to miss that. Okay, I can let go of number 1, but I'm going to be mad if you didn't do number 2. How do you do number 2? Someone. We have a test on this tomorrow. Ma'am, go ahead and shout it out for me. Yeah, go ahead, Julia.
You do 12 times the square root of,
Just use the old school one. How do you solve for the third side on the right triangle?
12 plus x2 equals, or b2 equals 25.5.
Okay. I know 12 squared is 144. I need someone to type in 25.5 squared in their calculator for me. 506.25? Thank you. And then when you subtract 144 from both sides, you get x squared equals something. Okay, I have graded all of first period's Pythagorean theorem projects. I have not graded all of 8 periods. I have at least 2 in the room that I could recall off the top of my head, possibly more than that have not turned in their projects. As of today, if you hadn't noticed, it would be a 40 out of 60. That's still 2/3 of the points. 40 out of 60 is way better than that 0 out of 60 I'm going to type in later today. If you haven't realized this, your grade, if you're one of my zeros, it's about to go down because it's a 60% category grade. But the whole reason of me referencing that project is I've noticed many people stop right here. They got points counted off on their project and they're going to get points counted off on the test. What do they need to do? They've got to take the square root of both sides. They've got to. And they keep saying this is the answer. You've got to take the square root. When you take the square root of 362.25 in your handy dandy calculator, what do you end up getting? Really? Are you sure we did this math right? 25.5 squared. Because I swear second period, I don't remember what number we got. Oh, I've transposed the numbers. So it was 650. So minus 144. So this is wrong. Okay, that makes more sense. So it was 650.25, Caitlin?
Yes.
Okay, and then 650.25 minus 144 was what? 506.25? Okay, and so Will was going ahead and telling me this answer, and me and Will just got our numbers transposed and confused. So what is the square root of 506.25? I know the answer is A. I'm sorry, me and Will are having some decimal issues. But hey, Will gets most of his points. He sets up the problem. He solves. I maybe count off 2 as opposed to the blank people who get nothing. Okay, now flip to the back for me. I want to talk about today's bell ringer. I know some people got their justification document late. I would highly recommend you fill it in at some point very soon. That's my way of telling you that today's justification question is going to make the next bell ringer test. It says something about this house, and you need to get in the window, and it's 25 feet off the ground, the window is, and that there's some stuff on the ground that you gotta maneuver around, and we gotta figure out the length of our ladder, which is the hypotenuse. So really it's a right triangle problem with a leg that's 25, a leg that's 10, and we're solving for the hypotenuse. So I should use the Pythagorean theorem. 10 squared plus 25 squared equals x squared, and solve. I'm going to stop here. When I do the next bell ringer test, if Kaylee turns it in, and this is all she has, because that's all Miss Covington had, she's not going to get all her points. She's going to actually solve for x and probably write a few words so she can get some points. Okay, remind me again what's happening tomorrow. Test. Do we normally do bell ringers on test days? No, but just for fun practice and kicks and giggles, let's look at number 2 on Friday. Because if you can guess number 2 on Friday, I swear there's no way you won't make 100 on the test tomorrow. I just really think that. And if we don't get it, don't feel bad. I had to coax first and second to the correct answer as well. Okay, it says if triangle ABC is a 30, 60, 90, which of the following could represent triangle ABC's side lengths? It's a good one. Why? Which one's the short leg? Which one's the long leg? Which one's the hypotenuse? What is this? Okay, and then what's the 4 then? By golly, Kaylee had her Wheaties this morning. That is the correct answer. For those of us who didn't have our Wheaties, let's get caught up. Why did Miss Compton immediately knew the answer was not A. Because all the numbers matched, which means it's an equilateral triangle. Tell me what else is an equilateral triangle. What's the other word? Equilateral, good gravy. And which means it's a 60, 60, 60. And we were told it's a 30, 60, 90, so it's automatically out. What kind of triangle is B and C? How do you know it's a 45, 45, 90, Miss Brister?
Because she's square root of 2.
Oh, Miss Brister is remembering. Square root of 2 goes with the 45. Square root of 3 goes with the 30, 60, 90s. I knew it as well because notice we had numbers that matched. 2 and 2. Legs match. Legs match in a 45, 45, 90. 2 square roots of 2, 2 square roots of 2. Legs matched. Although Miss Brister's method is perfect because it gets rid of B, C, and D. Her method gets rid of them all. If you're shaking your head, you're the ones that need to ask me some questions as we go over the study guide. Okay, get out your study guide now that I passed it back to you. Oh, I meant to show you all this. You see how she's written all these words and did the Pythagorean theorem and got the right answer? Like, that's what I'm looking for. She knows that I'm going to put a justification on the test question on the test tomorrow. She's going to do something this magical as well. She wants all her points. Natalie. I already did check the setting. I was forgetting to get it, and that's it. I don't need it back. Last one was that one. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't need it. It was just him. Okay, so we need to go over the study guide. Tell me what I need to use on number 1, 2, and 3. Be more specific. It has a different name. What are we doing if we decide to use less than, greater than, or equal to? It had a different name. It was called the converse Pythagorean theorem. It's called the converse Pythagorean theorem.
I didn't know what it was called, but I knew how to do it.
Well, that's the important part. Okay, if we decide to use an equal to, it's right. Is acute less than or greater than? Is acute less than or greater than? And then obtuse is?
Less than.
Okay, so I go ahead and write all that to myself. And then there's no way I can mess this up. I had someone in first period, and he meant everything so well. He did not mean to do this. He was not trying to be a smarty pants or anything. I said, okay, everyone, tell me what the answer is to number 1. And you know what he said? No. That was his answer. He wrote no. For number 1, he wrote no. For number 2, he wrote yes. Number 3, he wrote no. So that shows me he knows how to use the Pythagorean theorem. Did he follow directions?
No.
Is he going to get all his points on the test? No. I can already anticipate that. What am I supposed to do on number 1?
You're supposed to put 6 squared plus 8 squared equals another space.
I do the circle. And then do...
And squared.
Okay, so that's 36 plus 64, and that's 81, so 181. Do I decide to use less than or the greater than? Okay, if I pick the greater than, then what kind of triangle is this? Okay, so it's an acute triangle. Let me zoom in a little more on that. Okay, I'm going to go through the top 6 pretty quickly because I'm mostly wanting to focus on the bottom 6. In my mind, I know Alexiana can do the Pythagorean theorem well. She's going to get the top 6 right. If she's going to make a mistake, it's going to be on the bottom 6. Unless she rushes, but she normally doesn't. Okay, 10, 24, 26. Okay, you did 10 squared plus 24 squared. You put your thingy, you got 26 squared. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. I love you so much for realizing that. What's triple? Yes. It's a multiple of what? What's the original? I'll tell you. 5, 12, 13. She recognized it was a triple. If you recognize it's a triple, you automatically know it's going to be an equal to, and it's a right triangle, because it is. If you actually solved it out, it still would be a right triangle. Does Mia have to work it out then on the test? What can she put to get all her points? She can put triple, PT, something for me to know that she knows what she's doing. She does not have to work it out. Now, if you still don't know your triples, then you need to work it out. Then you need to work it out. Truth, you need to work it out. Okay, so number 3, you did 16 squared, 18 squared, 24 squared. I don't know what 16 squared is. 18 squared? It's 24 squared, 576. Okay, 256 plus 324, what did you get?
580.
Okay, so it's 580 greater than, less than, or equal to 576. Okay, so since we chose the greater than, okay. We don't believe me? We're checking me?
Whoa.
I'm like 90% sure I'm right. This is my third go round on this one. No one's caught me all day. But that would be funny.
Hey, I do have a question.
I have an answer.
The reason why I got this all wrong on this paper yesterday is because of these directions right here.
Oh, yes. I would not read the top. So I would not read the top because on the top, you know how I always do A and B on the left and then C squared on the right? In the top, they explain it. They put C squared on the left and A and B on the right. So I wouldn't read the directions at the top.
You have to go by that to get the right answer.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was doing it like this yesterday.
I was fine with just the way it was. It didn't have to. I liked all the work and everything. Don't redo it. Just do the backside.
Oh, I'm halfway through now.
I don't care. Just redo the backside. I'm mostly just trying to make sure you had enough practice. Okay. Are there any questions on 1, 2, or 3? 4, 5, and 6 are even easier because they're just straight up the Pythagorean theorem. Mia, how did you do number 4?
I set it off like 9 squared plus 8 squared.
Really?
First of all, it's a triple.
Yes. You can definitely do this. What'd you end up getting? X equals what?
Yeah.
Did you get 12? Okay, you can do this, and you will get X equals 12, and I'm not going to be mad, and I'm not going to count off, and that is great, and it will always work. But Kaylee is right. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 12 divided by 3 is 4. It's technically a 3, 4, 5, so I knew it was 12 to begin with. Let's face it, we ought to combine the best of both worlds and do a Kaylee with a Mia approach to make sure we're completely right. Okay, on number 5, how could I set that one up?
25 squared plus 65 squared.
Plus 65 squared.
65 squared, not bad. X
Hey,
squared,
Zeus,
not bad, plus X squared
there's one rule with the Pythagorean theorem.
equals 65.
The hypotenuse has got to be that 65. Okay, you solved and you ended up getting X equals what?
65.
Okay. Whoa.
No,
I ended up getting
I'm
X
saying
equals
the square-
60.
I'm saying 25 squared is 60.
I got 60 as well. Does anyone know what triple this is? Ha 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 ha. 25 divided by 5 is 5. What's 65 divided by 5? It is 13. Be confident with yourself. And then 60 divided by 5? So it's a 5, 12, 13. So you technically could have gotten it with a triple as well. Yay. Okay, and then why is number 6 the easiest problem ever? It's the exact same as 5. And let's face it, so I already know the answer is 65. Okay, I just had those exact numbers.
Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, I purposely did that just to, mess with you. My only words of wisdom would be, Sierra, I hate to tell you this, but if I put a word problem, I'm not going to draw the picture for you like they did. I'm not. Let's face it, if I put a word problem, it's probably going to either involve a ladder or a ramp. And with a ladder or a ramp, the hypotenuse is the ladder or ramp. That's the thing leaning, so it has to be the hypotenuse. Are there any questions on 1 through 6? So far, this sounds like the easiest A of your life, and then you get to 7 through 12. So again, Cassie I see she's digging for it, or I think she is. Her blue formula sheet, just humor me. She's digging for her blue formula sheet. Do you have yours?
Yes. Not very
If yours is useful to you, if he finds his formula sheet is useful to him, he can use it on the test tomorrow. However, as agreed upon, if Will uses this, he's giving me 5 points. Miss Compton, you're not going to be here. How will you know? Will needs to staple it to his test, so I know to take off 5 points. But Miss Compton, you're not going to be here. Won't you know if I don't staple? Yes. I will find out, and I will take off more
You
points.
will always find
You
out.
forget I have Brister, and I have others.
She gonna ring.
I will find out. Someone
She's gonna rig.
will title tell on you, because guess what? You owe me 5 points if you use this. It's not a big deal, and you and I both know if you write a good enough justification answer, you can clearly get back your 5 points like that. But be honest and staple this to your stuff so I know to take off 5 points. Do you have to use your blue sheet? No. Do I recommend it? Of course.
That
thing is slow.
95.
I know. Okay, so this is how I would take the test tomorrow, and this is how we learned it. We did all the 45, 45, 90s, and then all the 30, 60, 90s. I know they're mixed up in there, but no one says I have to do 7 and then 9. Like, I can go any numbers I want. It's my thing. Okay, what problem should I start with if I want 45, 45, 90s? Okay, so 7, what is the 8 on? Okay, it's on a leg, so I know to put an 8 there. I know this is the hypotenuse. You can get points out of me just for labeling stuff. Hey, Zeus? Yes. You can get points out of me just for labeling stuff. Now, I instantly know, because I've been practicing this long enough with you, what the answer is. Does anyone instantly know what the answer is? Yeah, 8 squared is 2. Now, since Kaylee knows that, she doesn't have to write anything. So let's face it, even Kaylee's not perfect. So would it be smart to write hypotenuse equals leg times the square root of 2, just like you have it on your formula sheet, and then to actually plug it in? Of course, that would be very smart. Does she have to do all that? No. But if she's trying to get some pity points out of me and she makes a mistake, that sure would be nice backup. What's the next problem I should work?
8.
Okay, what did they give me on number 8? They gave me the hypotenuse, so I'm needing the legs. How do I find, if I need the leg, I take the hypotenuse, and what do I do?
Divided by the square root of 2.
Okay, so I'm going to have 3 square roots of 2 divided by the square root of 2. What magic happens? They cancel out, and you get just 3. So both legs are just 3. Ma'am. Let me fit. I'll swear you give me 2 more minutes and I'm done, and sure. Okay, and what other problems should I work?
12.
And why is 12 the hardest? Why do I know 12 is the hardest?
Because it gives you a pretty number.
If there's a pretty number on the hypotenuse, it's a problem. You wish it was an ugly number like number 8. Ma'am.
What you would do is you would, like, divide the 8 by 2.
It's going to be 4 square roots of 2. Yes, I know that you caught on to the pattern, but not all of us have. So for those of us who haven't, we can still write our formula. Leg equals hypotenuse divided by the square root of 2. And you can still humor me. 8 divided by the square root of 2. Can I leave my answer like that?
No.
No, you will not get all of your points. We have to do what?
Times it by the square root.
Both of them, yes. So we get 8 square roots of 2 over the square root of 4. Can I leave my answer like this? The square root of 4 is 2, so I've got 8 square roots of 2 over 2. Am I done yet? What's 8 divided by 2?
4.
So Kaylee was right, it was 4 square roots of 2. If Kaylee knows a trick, which clearly she does not have to show all this work. But if she's going to make a mistake, it's nice to have some backup. Okay, again, when I take the test, I would do all the 45, 45, 90s and then deal with the 30, 60, 90s. Ma'am.
You know how that's how you did in your line?
Yes.
You didn't really understand the 45 and the 60 triangles?
Yes.
I taught them how to do it.
I'm so proud of you. Okay, let's go to number 9. Why do I want to do number 9 first? Well, it is the first problem with 30, 60, 90s, but why do I want to do number 9 first? What did they give you on number 9? They gave you the short leg. I always look for the short legs. So they gave me the short leg, long leg, hypotenuse I need to solve for. Sierra gets points for labeling the triangle. Sierra gets points for writing stuff like long leg equals short leg times square root of 3. So she plugs it in. 8 times square root of 3. I get 8 square roots of 3. She gets points for stuff like this.
You get points taken off.
No. If you know instantly the answer is 8 square roots of 3, 16, then good. Good for you. Why do you think Caitlin Smith's over here playing on her phone? She's got it too. But for those of us who aren't sure, let's write a formula and plug stuff in, and we got this. Short leg, 8 times 2, and I get 16. Okay, I like number 9. I even like number 10. What did they give me on? Are there any questions on number 9? We would really like to get the short leg. You hit your funny bone? It wasn't very funny?
It bent backwards and it started to hurt the bones.
Oh, no.
What's
Oh, no.
funny?
We would love to get the short leg, but if we can't get the short leg, you know who else I don't mind? I don't mind the hypotenuse. Because if I have the hypotenuse, I know the short leg's 15, and I know the long leg's 15 square roots of 3. But for those of us who want to show a little work, you can do short leg equals hypotenuse divided by 2, so 30 divided by 2, which is 15. And you can do long leg as the short leg times the square root of 3, so 15 times square roots of 3, which is 15 square roots of 3. None of that hurts my feelings, but again, if you just know it off the top of your head, I think that's awesome. I think that means I've made you practice enough. Okay, number 11 is my least favorite one on there. Why is that? I don't like it when they give me the long leg, but this one ends up being okay. Why is this one okay? It's an ugly number, and the only ones you should be scared of are pretty numbers on the long leg. This one works out nicely. I'm glad I don't talk to myself. short leg, long leg, hypotenuse. They gave me the long leg, so to find the short leg, I take my long leg and I divide by the square root of 3. They cancel out, so the short leg's just 9, and the hypotenuse is 2 times that, so 18. If you want to write stuff out, that's fine. I don't care. But you should be aware, what I didn't put on this study guide and what you have practiced is, what if there's one, that's the ugliest right triangle that ever was. What if there's one that looks just like the one above, but instead of 9 square roots of 3, they put a 9. Then you're going to have to do 9 divided by the square root of 3. You're going to have to rationalize the denominator. You're going to have to put in a little more work. It ends up being 9 square roots of 3 over square root of 9. So 9 square roots of 3 over 3. So 3 square roots of 3. And then times 2 would be 6 square roots of 3. It requires a little more work. Just be warned. Of course, there's still potential for me to put an ugly number, a pretty number, on the long leg. Is everyone else tired of talking about 45, 45, 90s and 30, 60, 90s?
Yes.
Me too. The only reason we spend so long on this is because I'm hoping you're going on to Algebra 2 with Trey, and you need this for that. Okay, I'm done rambling on. If you